34 degrees outside, 39 in your kitchen, and you're standing there with the oven on because the packet said 200 degrees Celsius for 40 minutes. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Your grandmother cooked through the summer of 1976 without air conditioning, without a fan, without an air fryer, and her kitchen stayed livable. She had tricks. Number 14 was printed in a Ministry of Food pamphlet and then quietly forgotten. Number 1 hasn't been in a British cookbook since 1947, and it cooks a full stew using no fuel at all. Hit subscribe. Let's count down. Number 25. Lids on everything. This sounds too obvious to matter. It matters more than anything else on this list. An uncovered pan of boiling water throws roughly 3/4 of its energy straight into the room as steam, and that steam carries an enormous amount of latent heat. It condenses on your walls, your ceiling, the inside of your windows, and every gram of it dumps its warmth back into the air you're breathing. Your grandmother's pans all had lids, and she used them because gas cost money and she wasn't burning it to heat the ceiling. Put a lid on the potatoes and they boil in 9 minutes instead of 14. 5 minutes less hob time, 5 minutes less steam, and a kitchen 2 or 3 degrees cooler by the time you plate up. It costs you nothing. The lids are in the cupboard under the sink, stacked, forgotten, doing nothing. Number 24. Kettle first, hob second. Watch what most people do. Cold tap into the pan onto the hob, gas on, then 12 minutes of open flame heating your kitchen while you wait for it to boil. Your kettle does the same job in 2.5 minutes, sealed, insulated, dumping almost nothing into the room. So fill the kettle, boil it, pour it into the pan, and the pan is at a rolling boil in about 90 seconds. You've cut 10 minutes of naked flame out of your evening. Do it for pasta, rice, potatoes, beans. An electric kettle gets something like 90% of the energy into the water. On a gas hob, most of the flame goes round the sides of the pan and up into your face. When electric kettles arrived in British kitchens in the 1950s, women worked this out within a fortnight. We forgot because we stopped thinking about where the heat went. Number 23. Run the extractor 10 minutes early. Everybody switches the extractor on when the pan starts spitting. That's already too late. The heat is in the room. What your mum did, if she had a fan at all, was open the back door and get the air moving before she lit anything. So switch the extractor on 10 minutes before you start cooking and leave it running for 20 minutes after you've finished. You're not extracting smoke. You're extracting the entire heat load of the meal continuously before it can settle. And here's the bit that catches people out. Shut the kitchen door. An extractor fan needs somewhere to pull air from, and if the door's open, it's pulling from the whole house and pushing your hot kitchen air into the hallway, the stairs, and eventually your bedroom. Closed door, window cracked 2 inches, extractor on. The fan pulls cool outside air across the room and straight out. The rest of the house never knows you cooked. Number 22. The dawn and dusk window rule. Here is where things get interesting. Most people get this exactly backwards. On a hot day, at about 11 in the morning, they fling every window in the house open to let some air in. What they're actually doing is inviting 30-degree air into a house that was 22 at breakfast, and it will not leave. Your grandmother's terrace worked on a completely different rhythm. Windows and doors flung wide from 5 until 9 in the morning, dragging cool night air through the whole house. Then shut. Everything shut. Curtains drawn on the sunny side, the house sealed like a flask. The thick walls and the cold larder floor held that morning coolness right through the afternoon. Then, at about 9 at night, when the outside air finally dropped below the inside air, everything opened again. That's the whole system. It's called thermal mass and night purging, and building engineers now design entire office blocks around it. Your nan did it with a window catch and a bit of common sense. Number 21. The marble slab. Every proper British pantry had one. A slab of marble or slate, sometimes a whole shelf of it, sitting in the coldest corner. It wasn't decoration and it wasn't for pastry, or not only for pastry. Stone has enormous thermal mass and it sheds heat quickly, which means a marble slab sitting in a cool larder overnight becomes a genuine cold surface by morning, several degrees below room temperature and staying there for hours. Butter kept firm on it. Milk kept sweet longer on it. Pastry stayed short instead of turning greasy. And in a heat wave, it's the surface you assemble everything on because the food doesn't warm up while you're working. You can buy a marble pastry board for about £15. Stick it in the fridge overnight in July and it becomes a cold worktop the next day. No electricity, no moving parts, no noise. Just physics your great-grandmother took entirely for granted. Number 20. The damp muslin cooler. Before the Frigidaire arrived in 1952 and cost roughly the same as a small car, British kitchens kept food cold with evaporation. A meat-safe, wooden frame, fine mesh sides, standing in the shade of the north wall. Over it, a piece of damp muslin, with the ends trailing into a shallow dish of water. The cloth wicked the water up. The air moved through it. The water evaporated, and evaporation steals heat. Properly set up in moving air, it ran 8 to 10 degrees below the surrounding temperature. That was the difference between milk that lasted the day and milk that turned by tea time. Now here's the part that should annoy you. It still works perfectly. Wrap a bottle of wine in a wet tea towel, stand it in a breeze, and in 20 minutes it's colder than the room. No fridge, no power, no cost. It's the same principle as sweating, which is the only reason you're alive on a 34-degree day. Number 19. The microwave jacket, grilled. A jacket potato in the oven is 90 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. 90 minutes. In a heat wave that's not a meal, it's an act of self-harm. Your kitchen will be uninhabitable and the rest of the house will follow. So do what the caterers do. Prick the potato, microwave it for 8 or 9 minutes until it's soft the whole way through, then 2 minutes under a hot grill with the skin rubbed in a little oil and salt. That's 11 minutes total, and the grill only heats the top 4 inches of your oven cavity, not the whole box. The skin comes out crisper than the oven version because the oven dries the skin slowly and toughens it while the grill blisters it fast. Fluffy inside, shattering skin, 11 minutes. The only reason we still bake them for 90 minutes is that somebody's mum said the microwave ruined them in 1987 and nobody has checked since. Number 18. One-pot pasta, never drained. Draining pasta is the single hottest thing that happens in a British kitchen. You lift 4 liters of boiling water, tip it into the sink, and a wall of steam goes straight up into your face and settles into your ceiling. All of that heat came out of your gas bill and it now lives in your house, so don't. Put the dry pasta in a wide, shallow pan with just enough water to cover it, about a liter for a pound of pasta, plus your chopped tomatoes, garlic, and a good pinch of salt. Boil it hard for the time on the packet. The pasta drinks the water, the starch it sheds thickens what's left, and by the end you have pasta already coated in sauce. No colander, no steam plume, no second pan. Italian home cooks in the South have done this for generations and called it pasta risottata. And they did it because in a Neapolitan August you'd sooner die than boil 4 liters of water for nothing. Number 17. The rice cooker and the electric steamer. Second pattern break, and this one is about containment. A rice cooker is a sealed insulated pot with a small element at the bottom. When rice cooks on your hob, the whole pan radiates outward. The lid rattles and steam escapes for 20 minutes. A rice cooker loses almost nothing to the room because the whole thing is designed to keep the heat inside the bowl where the rice is. Same for an electric steamer. Same for the tiered steamer baskets your mum stacked over one pan. Here's the general law of a heatwave kitchen, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every appliance either heats the food or heats you, and the ratio is what matters. Cook inside boxes. Never cook inside rooms. Number 16. Residual heat poaching. This is the one that makes people call you a genius, and it takes no skill whatsoever. Salmon fillet, chicken breast, whole eggs, new potatoes. Bring the pan to a boil, drop the food in, count to 60, then turn the hob off completely and put the lid on. Walk away. 15 minutes later, the salmon is perfectly poached, moist, faintly translucent in the middle, better than anything you'd get by boiling it. 12 minutes and the eggs have a jammy amber yolk. The trick is that a covered pan of boiling water holds enough stored heat to finish the job long after the flame is out, and it does it gently, so nothing seizes or turns rubbery. Your hob was on for 90 seconds. 90 seconds of heat for a cooked dinner. Chefs charge £15 for this and call it sous vide. Your great-aunt called it turning the gas off, and she did it every summer of her life because gas was expensive and the kitchen was already an oven. Number 15. The air fryer is not a gimmick. Look, it's a small fan oven and the marketing is ridiculous, but the physics is real. Your full-size oven has to heat a cavity the size of a suitcase, plus the steel, plus the glass, plus the shelves, and then hold all of that at 200 degrees Celsius for an hour, while every gram of it radiates into your kitchen. An air fryer heats a box the size of a shoebox, and it does it in 3 minutes. No preheat, no waiting. For anything up to about 4 portions, it does the same job on roughly a fifth of the energy in half the time, and what it does spill into the room is a fraction of what the oven does. Here's how to think about it. The oven isn't cooking your food. The oven is cooking a large hot room, and your food happens to be in there. Stop renting the room. Number 14. The pressure cooker. Your grandmother's prestige pressure cooker cost about £3 in 1956. And it sat on the top shelf hissing and rocking and terrifying the children. It's the most heat-efficient thing that has ever been in a British kitchen, and we abandoned it out of pure fear. Under pressure, water boils at about 120 degrees Celsius instead of 100, which means a stew that takes 4 hours takes 45 minutes, and the pot is sealed, so it dumps almost nothing into the room the entire time. A 1-hour saving on hob time in August is worth more than any recipe. And here's what food scientists confirmed later. The Maillard reaction, the browning that makes meat taste of meat, runs faster at those temperatures. So a pressure-cooked stew develops deeper flavor in less time, from cheaper cuts, with less heat in your kitchen. Modern electric versions do the same thing without the rocking or the hissing or the family legend about Auntie Pat's ceiling. Number 13. Exile the slow cooker. Third pattern break. And it's the most obvious idea on this list that nobody actually does. A slow cooker is brilliant in a heatwave. It draws about the power of a light bulb, it's fully lidded, and it makes a proper hot dinner. But it still runs for 8 hours, and 8 hours of even gentle warmth in a sealed summer kitchen adds up. So don't put it in the kitchen. Put it in the garage, the utility room, the porch, the shed, on a paving slab in the shade by the back door, with an extension lead. It doesn't need you and it doesn't care where it is. At 6 o'clock, you walk outside, lift the lid, and carry in a chili that cooked all day in a building you never sat in. Every joule of waste heat went into the garden instead of your living room. Americans do this on their porches every summer and think nothing of it. We don't do it because a British kitchen is where appliances live, and we've never questioned it. Number 12. The dawn shift. If you must use real heat, use it at 6:30 in the morning. This was standard practice in British kitchens for a century, and it wasn't about temperature, it was about the range. A coal range or an aga had to be lit early, and it stayed hot all day, so the baking got done in the cool of the morning while the house could still shed it. Do the same. Get up at 6 on the hottest day of the week, whack the oven on once, and cook everything at the same time. A tray of chicken thighs, a tray of roast vegetables, a loaf, a batch of hard-boiled eggs, a tray of potatoes for salad. 1 preheat, 1 hour, 4 dinners. Then the oven is off by 8, the windows are still open, and the heat leaves the house with the morning air before the sun gets round to the back wall. By 4 in the afternoon, when everyone else is opening theirs, you're taking cold roast chicken out of the fridge. Number 11. The cold table. Your great-grandmother's whole summer strategy in one idea. She cooked the joint on Saturday evening, and it was hot on Sunday. And then it was cold for the rest of the week. Cold beef with pickles on Monday, sliced into sandwiches on Tuesday, the last scraps minced through the hand grinder for Wednesday. Never once did she cook again. That wasn't laziness. That was a summer built around a single firing of the oven. And here's the thing about cold roast meat, which we've entirely forgotten. It's better cold. The fats set, the juices firm up, the flavor concentrates, and a slice of cold roast beef with a sharp mustard and a cold boiled potato is one of the finest things this country has ever produced. The Edwardians built entire menus on it and called it a cold collation. We call it leftovers, we apologize for it, and we microwave it until it's grey. Stop reheating. Cold was the point. Number 10. Gazpacho and the chilled soup. There is a reason the countries that get properly hot invented soups you don't cook. Ripe tomatoes, cucumber, a red pepper, a clove of garlic, a slice of stale bread, olive oil, sherry vinegar, salt. Blender. Fridge for 2 hours. That's gazpacho. It takes 6 minutes of your life. It involves no heat whatsoever, and it's genuinely one of the great dishes. Britain has its own version and nobody remembers it. Chilled cucumber soup, cucumber and yogurt and mint and a little white wine vinegar, which appeared in Women's Institute books through the 60s and vanished by the 80s. The stale bread is the clever bit, by the way. It's not filler. It emulsifies the oil into the vegetable juice, so the whole thing turns silky instead of separating into a watery mess. It's the reason the Spanish version works and your blitzed salad doesn't, and it's 400 years old. Number 9. Let the acid do the cooking. Here is the trick that sounds like a party piece and is actually chemistry. Take very fresh white fish, sea bass, bream, or good raw prawns. Dice it small. Cover it in lime juice with a little salt, some finely sliced red onion, and a green chili. Leave it 20 minutes. The flesh turns from translucent to opaque white, exactly as it would in a pan, and it firms up and goes flaky. That's ceviche, and no heat has been anywhere near it. What's happening is that the acid denatures the proteins, unraveling and retangling them in precisely the way heat does. It is cooking, in every sense that matters, using a lime. Fishing families on the Cornish coast soused fish in vinegar for exactly the same reason. It preserved and transformed without lighting anything. 20 minutes, no gas, no steam, and a dish that costs £18 in Fitzrovia. Number 8. Overnight oats and the bircher. Porridge in August is a form of punishment, and yet millions of us stand over a pan every morning because that's what breakfast is. Dr. Bircher Benner worked this out in a Swiss sanatorium in 1900. Oats don't need heat, they need time and moisture. Half a cup of oats, half a cup of milk or yogurt, a grated apple, a spoon of honey. Jar, lid, fridge, overnight. In the morning, the oats have absorbed everything, softened completely and gone creamy, and you eat it cold straight from the jar on the hottest morning of the year. British households ate soaked oats routinely before the war, because soaking overnight was how you made hard old oats edible without wasting fuel on them. Then Ready Brek arrived in 1957, promised us a central heating glow, and we all decided breakfast had to be hot. In July, it doesn't. Number 7. The fridge set pudding. Fourth pattern break, and this one is where the old British kitchen absolutely thrashes the modern one. Nobody in 1958 baked a cake in a heatwave. They set one. Crushed digestives and melted butter pressed into a tin, and then whatever you had. Tiffin. Broken biscuits, raisins, syrup and chocolate, pressed down hard and chilled until it's sliced. No baked cheesecake, cream cheese, cream, lemon, on a biscuit base, set in 3 hours. Chivers jelly whipped with a tin of carnation evaporated milk until it foamed, poured into a mold, and set into something between a mousse and an ice cream for about 9p. Every one of those was a proper pudding. Every one of them was on a WI trestle table at the summer fete, and not one of them required a single degree of heat beyond melting a bit of butter. We got ovens and food processors, and we somehow ended up with fewer options than a woman with a fridge and a packet of digestives. Number 6. Use the freezer as a tool, not a cupboard. Your freezer is the only thing in your kitchen actively removing heat from food, and most people use it as a place where peas go to be forgotten. Freeze stock in ice cube trays, so a sauce gets flavor without a stock pot ever going on. Freeze whole grapes, which turn into something like sorbet, and are the best thing you'll eat all August. Put your mixing bowl and your beaters in the freezer for 20 minutes before you whip cream, because cold fat whips faster and holds longer, which is exactly what your grandmother did with the tin of evaporated milk. Freeze coffee into cubes so an iced coffee doesn't turn to dishwater. Freeze bread in slices and toast it from frozen, so you never bake and never waste a loaf. The freezer is where the summer kitchen actually happens. Number 5. The barbecue is an outdoor oven. We treat it as a machine for burning sausages on the outside and leaving them raw in the middle, and then we go back indoors and use the real oven. That's madness. A kettle barbecue with the lid on is an oven. Coals banked to one side, food on the other side, lid down, vents half open, and you have a 180 degrees Celsius fan-free oven sitting in your garden. You can roast a whole chicken in it in an hour and 15. You can bake potatoes in the embers. You can do a tray of peppers and aubergines. All of that heat, every bit of it, goes into the sky instead of your ceiling. Everything you were going to put in the oven can go in there instead, and it comes out tasting of smoke, which is an upgrade you're getting for free. The lid is not optional. The lid is the entire point, and roughly nobody in Britain uses it. Number 4. Look after the fridge, or it'll heat the room. Nobody thinks about this, and it's costing you twice. Your fridge doesn't destroy heat, it moves it out of the box and into your kitchen through the coils at the back. In a heatwave, it's working flat out, and every extra minute the compressor runs is more warm air blowing out of the back and into the room you're standing in. So, never put warm food in it. Let it cool on the marble slab first, because putting a warm dish in makes the compressor run for an hour to fix your impatience. Pull it out once a summer and vacuum the coils, because a fur coat of dust can cost you 30% of its efficiency. Test the door seal by shutting a £5 note in it, and if you can pull the note out easily, the seal's gone and the fridge is fighting the whole kitchen. And keep it full. A full fridge holds its cold. An empty one loses everything the second you open the door. Number 3. The appliance we've apologized for since 1985. Here's the truth about the microwave, and Britain has never wanted to hear it. It is the coolest cooking appliance ever invented, and I mean that thermodynamically. It puts 800 watts directly into the water molecules in your food and almost nothing into the room. There's no hot cavity, no radiating steel, no preheat, no flame. Compare that to a 2,000-watt oven that spends 15 minutes heating itself before it does anything at all. Steamed vegetables in a covered bowl with a splash of water, 4 minutes, better than boiling because the vitamins stay in the food instead of going down the sink. New potatoes for salad, 7 minutes. Fish fillet with lemon under cling film, 3 minutes, and it's genuinely as good as poaching. We decided in about 1985 that microwaves were what you did to a Findus crispy pancake, and it was somehow beneath us, and we've been standing in 39-degree kitchens ever since to prove a point that nobody was arguing. Number 2. The vacuum flask. Your flask is not for tea. It's a cooker. Put half a cup of rice in a wide-mouthed thermos, pour in boiling water from the kettle, screw the lid on, and go to work. 6 hours later, the rice is perfectly cooked, fluffy, hot, and your hob was on for exactly the 2 minutes it took to boil a kettle. It works for oats, for couscous, for lentils, for dried beans, for barley. It works because a vacuum flask loses only a few degrees an hour, and almost everything in your dry cupboard will cook at 85 degrees Celsius if you just give it long enough. Miners took this down the pit. Railwaymen used it. Wartime kitchens used it under Ministry of Food guidance because it saved fuel, and fuel was the whole war. It's sitting in your cupboard right now with a bit of last winter's soup crusted in the lid, and it will cook your dinner using 1 kettle boil and 6 hours of doing absolutely nothing. Number 1. The hay box. And here is the one that has been missing from British kitchens since about 1947, and it is the best of all of them. A wooden crate or a cardboard box packed tight with hay, newspaper, old blankets, or a duvet. You bring your stew to a rolling boil on the hob for 10 minutes, lid clamped on tight, and then you take the entire pot off the heat and bury it in the box. Close the lid. Walk away for 6 hours. It will still be above 70 degrees Celsius when you open it, and the stew will be cooked, falling apart, better than anything you'd have got from 6 hours of gas. The Ministry of Food pushed hay boxes hard through both wars because a hay box needed no fuel, no queuing, no coal ration. Every village hall had a demonstration. Then the war ended. Gas got cheap. Everyone got a cooker. and we threw them all out and forgot in a single generation. Aid agencies now hand out an insulated bag called a Wonder Bag to 1 million households in Africa, and they've won awards for it, and it is a hay box. That's it. That's the whole invention. We had it, it worked perfectly, it cost nothing, and we binned it because we got rich enough to be stupid. So there it is. 25 ways to eat properly in a heat wave without turning your kitchen into a kiln. Pick one this week: the kettle first, the lid on, the flask, the slow cooker in the garage. Then come back and tell me I'm wrong, because I've been running the dawn shift all summer and I'm not going back. Which one is your nan's? Tell me in the comments. I want to know whose grandmother still had a hay box in the shed.